Stool number 23, Bob Selby, the Blue Stool and why it matters.
When I was in college, I went to the University of the Paleolithic era. You probably read about that. We had a hell of a football team, but I recall my first year I took a philosophy class, Intro to Philosophy with Dr. J. Daniel Brown. And first day of class, as is typical, he was going over the syllabus and talking about all those philosophers that we were going to study, from Heraclitus to Plato to Socrates, and he got up to the Middle Ages and he talked about the medieval thinkers, and then how we're going to go through Kant and Hegel and all this sort of thing. And in those days, hard as it may be to believe, I was a wise ass. And I piped up and I said, so are we going to study modern thought? Are we going to talk about modern philosophers? Because I'm interested in the here and the now. And Dr. Brown just sort of lowered his bifocals, looked over the top at me, and he said, "What's your name?" And I told him. And then he said, "Mr. Selby." And I figured, man, I'm on my way to the dean's office now, and I'm done. And he just looked at me and he said, "Every word that I am speaking is in the past. Everything I'm telling you right this minute is history. It's gone. It's all in the past. As a matter of fact, there is no such thing as a now. There is no present. All we know is the past. There's only the past, the unknowable future, and the inexorable march of time." And when he said that, my little brain went, and you know, I shut up and started listening for one thing, but I also started thinking about getting professors off topic. I had another professor, Dr. Hans Romer, German professor. I actually took German my first year, and very interesting guy. And I remember one of the students decided to get him off topic, and so he said, "So Dr. Romer, tell us about Germany. What was Germany like? What was it like to grow up in Germany?" Well, he started to tell us. And he started talking about his life and what it was like. Before we knew it, he was telling us what it was like to wear a uniform and to stand at attention at a mass rally and to listen to Adolf Hitler make a speech. And he had our attention, let me tell you. We listened very closely. Well, what that did was it taught me that, among other things, that at that school, just as at this school and at any school, there was a deep well of knowledge and information that somehow never gets into the syllabus, doesn't quite land in the class. It's just there. And if you tap it, then your experience is going to be far richer. So some years later, when I came here to Champlain, I fell into conversation with some people here, Since Benino, for example, who knows a little something about learning, and Chuck. Chuck Bashaw knows about learning, as does Eric Ronis. You know, these are consummate intellectuals, and so we were talking about this idea that there's this deep well that goes untapped right here at Champlain College, and about what it means to be in an intellectual community. And so we hit upon the idea that maybe we could actually take this thing that we have, that we do, and give away free samples. If you go to a chocolate factory, at the end of the tour, they give you chocolate, right? Well, what do we have? We have knowledge. That's our currency. It's our stock in trade. We have it to give away. So we hit upon the idea of creating free lectures every now and then, just out of nowhere. we'll just have a lecture pop up and we'll give away knowledge just for the sake of learning, because learning is a joy, and we respect the minds of our students, and we know that you appreciate that. And so somebody said, well, we need a signal, something to let people know that free knowledge is about to be given away. And so I said, well, I got a stool and I got a can of spray paint, which happened to be blue, and that was my contribution. And so we created a blue stool, and ever since we have been trying to pursue this idea that now and then lectures can just pop up, and even though the words are going to go, the words themselves will be in the past, but the ideas will remain. And that matters to you. And so because of who you are and what we think of you, we thought, yeah, this might be something that is worthwhile to pursue. And I bring this up because I'm about to leave Champlain. I just taught my last class at Champlain College about an hour ago. It's a strange feeling, I gotta say. So I don't know if the blue stool is going to continue or not, but in some way, shape, or form, it seems to me that all of you will continue to appreciate that this is what we have here, is an intellectual community. It's not just syllabi and go to class, get a grade, get a diploma. It is the privilege of living for 4 years among bright minds and exchanging ideas. So however you do it, I certainly hope you will continue to do that, and I wish you all luck with it. Thank you for listening.